right, and a good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Hashtag in the Morning, and you're in the able hands of yours truly, Dan Sako. You can find us on our hashtag, which is in the morning on Y254 channel on all our social platforms. And also we'll be asking you, by the way, a question of the day as you celebrate this Christmas holidays. Ensure that you stay under the guidelines of staying healthy and keeping a sound mind. Now, right here with us right on Y254 channel and in the morning, we're just about to keep you up to speed with the current affairs, and the one and only Rejoice Mutheu, who is also an aspiring woman representative from Machakos, is right here to actually paint for us a panoramic picture of what 2025 has been like politically, as well as her aspirations. And there's something incredible she's doing, bridging the gap between leadership and her community by offering pro bono services, not just to young people at large, but to the general popular. So she's definitely right here to give us those insights and much more. Karibu sana and good morning. Great to have you back, Rejoice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right. So maybe for those that have not come across some of your works that you're doing politically out there, maybe if you were to give them just a little description, what have you been up to for this entire part of 2025 as we come to a close?
Thank you so much. First of all, my name is Rejoice Mutheu. I'm from Machakos County, but I like to describe myself as a Kenyan because I'm aspiring to be a Machakos County women rep, but I'm a national leader, and also I'm also beyond Kenya. I'm also a leader at the 8th East African Young Parliamentarians. We're a group of young leaders from across East Africa and also Africa, trying to come together and solve the challenges that affect our region. You know, Kenya, Burundi, Rwanda, we face more of the same challenges. And as the young people, you know, we see that more than one brain is better than, two brains are better than one. Yeah. That is what you're trying to, the synergy we're trying to bring in the region. And you've asked on,
what has been 2025 politically been like for you? What are some of the things that you caught along during your because I believe you're almost like an advocate as well.
Yes.
What you're doing as well, coming into the whole spectrum of servant leadership at large.
Yeah. So politically, 2025.
Yeah.
It has been
such a year. It's been a mind wreck.
It has been such a year. I mean, I'm from jumping the walls across Nairobi, banners, don't kill us. Yeah. From being on BBC, like human rights. Human rights are not a privilege. To the finance bills that of course passed to Saba.
Right.
I mean, it has been such a year for me as a political leader, but also as a young person. It has been a year to also do some self-development, because again, I do tell people that when you call Rejoice, it's not all about politics. Right. There's Rejoice the person. In as much as there's Rejoice the political leader, there's Rejoice the advocate in the community, the community advocate, Rejoice the mental health advocate. Now there's Rejoice the girl that has graduated, Rejoice the girl that has got a career, Rejoice the girl,
a daughter,
Rejoice a child,
a Kenyan.
Rejoice a Kenyan. So again, for me it has also been a year to actually develop myself. Right. Kuongeza masomo pale na hapa na pale.
Would you say you've expanded fully your, let's say, the armory and the tools that you'll need to fight and forge in 2026?
Absolutely.
You're ready for it?
Absolutely. For instance, actually, practically, I've attended programs such as a program for young politicians in Africa, where it was actually held this time in Uganda. And here in Kenya, in Mombasa. It's a whole holistic program that brought young political leaders, both male and female, from across Africa, like the entire Africa continent, to just bring young leaders and teach them, mentor them practically, like what leadership is all about. And I'm glad because today we are talking about servant leadership.
Absolutely.
I've also been at the Netherlands Institute for Multi-Party Democracy. Wow. Again, with now young leaders, this time on from across Kenya, the 47 counties. It's a program for selected few young political leaders, both male and female, just trying to come together and get mentored, you know, and get this kind of advanced and practical leadership experience. I've also been with the International Federation for Liberal Youths in Africa.
Amazing.
Another one, but that one was only for female leaders, young female leaders. We met there. We were with leaders like Honorable Minister Mabona, Her Excellency Martha Karua, and an iron sharpens an iron. So for me, this year
has been eventful.
It has been eventful, and
exceptional. Just like you'd say, so many boundaries have stretched, and you can literally see everything from a place of, I'd say, abundance and positivity, and it can be done.
Absolutely.
It can be done.
Absolutely.
And I want to ask you a question, picking up from this amazing, fantastic places that you've been to. Maybe what would you say has been the most common conversation that touches on the youth and helping the youth to be part of collaborative leadership, servant leadership that's not like I'm on the platform, I'm making choices and decisions, and you, the subjects, have to follow it. Other than it should be leadership that I want to include you, become part of the conversation. Let's make these decisions and choices. Let's have your voice. What is your opinion? What's your mindset? You know, what is the role you have to play in this? Maybe what is the common thing that has been outstanding in the trainings, in the fellowships, the interactions, and the sharings that you guys have had?
Thank you so much for asking that question. Actually, before I came in for the show, I was just reflecting, and I was asking myself, what is this thing that has really stood out in terms of all this mentorship, all these talks? Because again, besides the fellowship that I've mentioned, I've also been at conferences and at summits where I've had great leaders speak. And among the people I think that have been common in this leadership talks has been one Honorable Babu Owino.
Shout out.
I
can't wait
shout out
to be here.
Shout out to Honorable Babu Owino.
Have you met him?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And actually, I remember there's one actually just early this year. There's a program where he was talking to us, the young people. It was ex-student leaders and current student leaders. And I think if there's something that Honorable Babu likes to speak about, he will always tell you, you know what, Rejoice, you know what, John, you know what, Sharon, when you become a leader in every capacity, one thing, serve the people. He's one leader that I've learned about serving the people. For him, he'll never tell you about, money, about what. He'll just tell you one thing, serve the people. You go to him, like, I have this dream, I want to advance maybe my leadership from a student leader to a national leader, to a community leader. He'll tell you one thing, serve the people.
That should be the ultimate goal for any leadership.
Yes, and I've been so keen about that word, serve the people. He never misses that. In all his talks, there's somehow a summary of, serve the people. That is the conclusion, which is the bottom line. It does not matter which position. Be it you want to be a student leader, you want to be a church leader, you want to be a national leader, you want to be a member of county assembly, you want to be a woman rep, just serve the people.
Right, absolutely. And speaking of serving the people, when you look at some of the, let's say, prominent voices that we had during the protest, of course, I don't know why Casbo Makore keeps on popping up a lot, but of course there are ladies, including even people like Shakira, who here recently she pulled out of Maraga's group, or part of his political brigade. She pulled out because, I don't know, some other reasons that were given. Hanifa Farsafi, I don't know if she was part of the Gen Z movement, I don't know if you remember her, but I think she played a big role doing fundraising for the victims who had been shot and injured and even killed. Looking at people like Murara Kebasu, who had a unique way of doing his exposés that he became the public's or people's favorite, and then boom, whatever happened. When you stare and closely maybe cross-examine such personalities, was there an air of people's vision or carrying, say, people's burdens, let alone even carrying burdens, having the vision of, I'm doing this so that when I get to that ODM party the way Councilman McCoy did, I'm definitely will serve people. I will serve people. I don't know, do you see any servanthood in any of the personalities? And if yes or no, maybe what should have happened, or maybe if somebody would have had a conversation with them and mentored them, or maybe advised them and told them, from this movement, and now that you guys are like the products of it, maybe we can form some sort of like a political vehicle that would drive us to a place where we are able to still cater for people's needs and advance and advocate for their voices, and still will be able to become leaders and serve them. Speaking of servanthood.
Now, about Councilman McCoy. And now, I don't want to speak so much about personalities, but this, the Gen Z likes to call them like the betrayers, like those that betrayed the movement.
Yeah.
But we have seen, right now ODM is in the broad-based government, and we have not seen efforts to compensate the victims. Then, the Bible says, you shall know them from their actions.
The fruits of their labor.
The fruits of their labor. If he claims that being in the government would have helped him, serve the Gen Zs and the youths better, practically, then what happened to the first things, the compensation of the victims of the protests? It has been dragging and dragging and dragging. We're not seeing any kind of compensation. So for me, I do not buy that. Yeah. I still stand with the people. And being in broad-based is not an excuse, because we've seen other leaders who are legally. They're supposed to be in the broad-based legally because they were elected through these parties.
Yes, for sure.
But through their actions, we have seen that they are pro-people. They are still to date, they're still asking for compensation, pushing the government, to compensate the victims of protests. I think, I'm a big follower and a fan of Honorable Babo. You've been in Kisumu. Yeah. He's still to date asking the government to compensate the victims of the protests. Yeah. So these are customers in the government. Yeah. Now that they're truly now next, in the government, they should be in a position to ask the government to compensate the victims, but they're not.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a failed leadership.
Yeah. At some point, there's a task force that had been, initiated, and then it ended up being dissolved, and I think it was ruled to be unconstitutional. So that again renders it at a standstill. The question still, like you've posed, would we have protest victims compensated now that they're disbursed? They've actually not even disbursed, they've discontinued.
If the government wants to compensate, if the government wanted to compensate the protest victims, it would have been done long time ago. Because again, remember the housing project. It was ruled by the court to be illegal, but alas, it is still ongoing. We are seeing the housing project still ongoing. Right. So what excuse how comes the government is not willing to press harder when it comes to compensating the victim? That is just an excuse.
What would you think is causing the reluctance? Is it because maybe the passionate voices like LSK President Faith Odhiambo, who had initially been chosen to head it, pulled out suddenly, citing so many other things, and the public actually said there was a bit of frustration, there was just public pressure. Others said it was a possible betrayal of her true and original character, because if you look at Faith Odhiambo, the LSK president, she was among the most vocal voices, and even bailing out protest victims and those who had been maybe unlawfully arrested or jailed. She was always on the front line, championing for their release here. Would that have made any difference if she would have stayed?
No, I don't think so. Because the reasons, I actually read her resignation letter.
Yes.
The reason that she cited, it is just frustration left, right, center. And I think by her pulling out, she actually had the chance to show Kenyans what she was dealing with, the kind of leadership the Kenyans are dealing with. Because, I don't think there's anything that is bigger than human life.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And leadership, the other day when I was here, I did say that leadership is actually spiritual. Leadership is not just about positions, titles, being the head of this, being the head of that.
Boardroom assignments.
Boardroom, it is about, it is so spiritual. I gave examples of the Bible, and God takes leadership very serious. That is why he had to send his priests, to anoint people like David, a small boy taking care of his father's sheep. That is why he punished kings like Nebuchadnezzar very heavily.
Yeah. Because
leadership, it is something that is so deep.
Yeah.
And sometimes I wonder, or I get so shocked and surprised, and I pity these leaders when they joke around with leadership. Things to do with people's lives.
Right.
People's children that are killed. The least that could be done was just compensating, because again, there's no price for human life.
Yeah, for sure. Like
literally,
when you lose a loved one, there's nothing you can do to compensate or heal the pain.
There's nothing.
Yeah, for sure. And I want us to focus now on you as a young leader who is beating all the odds to ensure that you achieve and accomplish your vision in 2027. Maybe let me ask you once again, what are some of the things that you've had, or some of the blocks that you had to build in between that would showcase you if we were to put you on a TED Talk platform and give you a chance to share about servant leadership, and you'd outrightly point out that block A, this is what I'm establishing between I as a young leader and the young people of this country, to ensure that I'm curating an open-ended space that's welcoming and nurturous, that drives them towards an inclusive leadership arena platform. Maybe if you can just slowly but surely take us through that journey, or some of the tremendous things that you're building and putting in place for servanthood.
Now, number one is through conversations, talking. I've realized that in our country, there's a huge detachment between the leaders in position and the ordinary Kenyans. So number one is having conversations. In fact, I don't like to say, when I'm asking for this, introducing, putting myself out there, telling the people, what, I have this dream, I want to serve you, I'm offering myself as a leader in this position. For me, it's not been more of just introduction. It's been a conversation between me and the people of all groups, because I'm dealing with the young, I'm dealing with the old, I'm dealing with the middle age, and I'm also dealing with children.
Yeah.
Because I also speak to children about leadership.
Right.
Because I believe they have to be socialized. In our society,
conversations about being a president.
Exactly.
Being a king of your kingdom.
Exactly. Right. The children have to grow being aware that in the society there's a part of it called the leadership, the political leadership, that determines a big part of their lives, including their school fees, right? And their health as well.
Yeah.
So number one thing that I'm doing, having a conversation, like right now there is a voter registration. For me, I'm not just telling the young people to go and take their votes. I'm having a conversation with them. You know what, guys? If we don't take our votes, come 2027, we're going to be, yearning for that change, but we cannot make that change because we do not have the power of the ballot, our votes.
Yeah.
So number one, it has been the conversation. Number two, listening.
Yeah.
I think you've seen most of our leaders, they like to be the top voice on the microphones, but they don't like to listen. One of my most humbling experiences this year has been when I go maybe to the mashinani actually, and then I have a sit down with this wazee and the youths, different groups, especially the Gukas, our grandfathers there in the village.
Yeah.
The way those people are full of wisdom. And then they get to tell you about what they feel about the leadership, what their vision is for the leadership.
Yeah.
They get to tell you about where they feel like leaders are failing.
Yeah.
And then you wonder, the sitting leaders, do they ever take their precious time to actually go and listen?
Yeah.
I again, like the other day I was in an event with youths in here in Melongo, Mavoko constituency, just at Mission Express Highway, right Machakos.
Yeah.
And the youths were really speaking their hearts out.
Yeah.
Speaking about the garbage situation here in Melongo.
Yeah.
Speaking about how the police community relationship, how they feel like the police are harassing them.
Yeah.
You know, like the police are just profiling them in a way that is not right.
Yeah.
They were speaking about the Matatu sector, for which most of them are from the Matatu sector, and how they are finding it hard to cope there because of the traffic police.
Yeah, the harassment.
The
bribing.
And you know, for me, that was everything. Just listening to them before you take that microphone.
Yeah.
Have you listened to these people, what they want?
Yes.
So number one, conversation. Creating a room to have a conversation.
Then listening, engagement. That's literally like engaging.
Then
speaking to
listening to them. Because you could be having a conversation and you're the only person speaking.
Yeah.
You are not
when you
speaking.
speak alone, nobody else listens.
Then the third one, finding solutions. So do you know Kenyans are full of solutions?
Yeah.
Do you know Kenyans, I think...
Especially unemployed Kenyans.
Oh my God.
They have big dreams of being the greatest.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do you know, actually, if the government took time and listened to Kenyans, they would not need advisors in the government.
Boom. Boom.
Kenyans have the best solutions for solving the challenges that this country is having. Like, actually, whenever I go to the ground, I always go with a book.
Yeah.
And an extra phone to record. Not even for social media.
Right, not for
my own.
Yeah.
Like, I want to get back in the house and refer and write those solutions down.
Yeah.
Because they are so legit. And you know, there's this approach in social sciences called the EMIC approach, perspective.
EMIC approach, perspective.
Where you need people, or you solve a people's or a community's problems from their own point of view. That is the insider's point of view.
Yeah.
Versus the ethic perspective. That is the outsider's point of view.
Yeah.
You know, because if I came to this studio here and I want to solve a certain problem, like maybe with this color, you know, I'm an outsider and you are the insider. Possibly you have the best solution to solving it.
For real. Yeah.
So, finding solutions with our 9G. It has been one of the most humbling experiences.
Right.
These people are sharp.
Yeah, it's like you're saying, oh, you guys are suffering from water shortage. Let me see if I can buy clouds from Israel. I pump them in your air so that it can start raining here. Other than, let me listen to your suggestion. Mnataka nini? Tunataka to build your borehole. Itusaidie. Yeah. I think that could be a good
These people
example
are
to
full of
explain it.
solutions. Every time I go to the ground, I carry a book.
But then maybe maybe where is the disconnect in terms of the very higher up existing authority and the people on ground, in a way that, from what you're saying, it means there's lack of collaboration.
Yes.
Community. In fact, I think it's people-centered, kind of, collaboration, where I have to basically listen to your story, and then now I can sit down, stay with you, and come up with a possible solution that could solve this menace. Yeah. Maybe what if the disconnect that maybe I'd say prevents us from having such approach to the issues that are festering within different communities in Kenya?
Mindset and the political culture that we've had in this nation. You know, okay, so unfortunate, like the current waheshimiwas that we have in the government, in the 13th parliament. This is the 13th parliament. In the 13th parliament, in the executive, in the senate, in the county assemblies. No offense, but we do not have young people there. The young people that are there, okay, they're not youth per se, but we have Jerry Maina, I can name them. We have Babu Owino, Kinadidi Nyoro, and they're not even Sifuna in the Senate. They're not even 10 of them.
Crystal Asige, she's very vocal as well.
Yes, very. I was with her the other weekend.
Oh, wow, please mambia namtafuta hapa wa morning. Yeah.
I will leave the number.
Absolutely.
So, if you look at the houses of representation, they lack the young generation, which means the politics that we still have in the houses of representation, so it's the old politics. You know, the politics of the Moi era, where a political leader, like a member of parliament, if they were 90, if they came to the village, they are supposed to be worshipped by the citizens. You know, the citizens are supposed to line up and dance for them. But one to them, this is a different kind of generation. A generation with the mindset of, you know what, Reduce, we are electing you not to go sit at the National Assembly, but we are also electing you for ourselves. Come and sit with us as well. And don't just come to sit with us during Harambes, you know, during when you're giving bursaries. No. Come and sit as on a normal chief baraza. Come and listen, and we also listen to you. So the mindset, the Waheshimiwans think that every time wananchi are calling them, they are asking for handouts, for 100 shillings.
And that's literally what exactly happens.
No. So I tell you, this is a whole new generation.
What a whole new generation. I know if you call Babu, you know, definitely that's not the kind of conversation. But let's imagine Mike's uncle. The kind of conversations that stories that people tell him, of course, ni kuna mtu amefanyika hivi na hivi kwa hospitali tusaidie, kuna dada iko na rent tusaidie. Is there any other thing that, you know, young people on ground can call leaders and tell them, apart from help me sort my bills, we are stuck, we need a job, mom is unwell, my situation just got worse, I need help. Maybe if you were to actually see it from that POV, what are people saying?
Nowadays, a young person will call you, mom is unwell, there's this and this, but maybe they're not even asking you to sort it out. They are trying to raise the issue of SHA is not working.
Yes, Saizi wanasema SHA is flourishing and thriving. It's the best. I
said perhaps, like, they are calling me. Tocha, you know what, Muhesh? My mom is in the hospital. We're not asking for your money. We're asking you, because you're in the parliament, can you just raise the alarm that this insurance scheme is not working? Like, we're not calling you because we have because our mom does not have insurance.
Or we need money.
Exactly. We're calling you because we have been paying insurance, but now it is our time for this insurance to actually help us out, but apparently it is not. But if the Waheshimiwans, the old kind of mindset, they definitely think it's the wananchi are asking for handouts. No. Sometimes the wananchi are just telling you, by the way, we're supposed to have a secondary education, but the kind of extra money that we are being forced to pay for our children, it's so extra. Can it be looked? Can you look into that? And so, a political leader with the right mindset, they do not, I believe that right now they should not be, thinking that the citizens are just all about handouts. Kenyans want solution. If the economy is working, if the health insurance is working, there's what is supposed to be public good. If those things are working, if the cost of living is favorable and bearable for Kenyans, Kenyans will not call you for handouts. As a matter of fact, I think with the Waheshimiwa stoka tunaitwa pale kwa kijiji, they just want to treat us because they're doing a good job.
For sure. And that's, I think, an incredible picture that you painted, because many of the things that are usually said when young people are being viewed or even criticized, it's usually napenda tu kupiga simu mkitaka pesa, and I think the leaders have mastered that art of handouts. Wako wapi wapeni 50 watoke waende, there's that mentality.
In fact, young people do not want the 50 anymore. They want to tell you, Mheshimiwa, this road is killing many of our people.
Put a road bump here.
Can you put? They're calling people, hey Muhesh, these street lights are not working. It's causing insecurity at night.
Yeah.
Just solve it. Because if you give me 50 bob and the street lights are not working,
yeah,
what am I supposed to do with the 50 shillings?
Yeah.
This is a whole kind of generation. And the young people of this country, Gen Zs, let us keep it up.
Yeah.
Let us keep on pressing into the kind of leadership that we want. Yeah.
Yeah. And maybe just to ask you, what would be the most, let's say, for lack of a better word, the most appropriate format and style and approach of including even those that possibly have a dream and vision of sounding like you, being vocal, being passionate, you know, talented and gifted like you are, to be in leadership spheres where they can have their voices heard. Like for you, you've had so many trainings, you've been in fellowships, and all these things have made you a professional right now. But there's those people in the villages. In fact, they're the ones who matter the most because they come out to vote in large numbers. I'm not saying they're the only ones, but it's an inclusive, holistic approach. And what would be the most appropriate style that would lead us all towards heading there in terms of inclusive servant leadership?
All of us, like leaving no one behind, right?
So how can we do that? By not leaving anyone behind? Because when you look at the protests as well, they are massively done on digital. In fact, I think it's historical because the Gen Zs of this country forced the president to come onto the X spaces. Walimforce akakuja na tena wakasusia wakasema, we are not talking to you, bruh. Stay right over there. You've hurt us, you know. For the first time in history, Kenyan youth forced a president of a country to come onto the X now boycott tena, you know. So if they are vocal and loud on those digital platforms, what can we do to maybe also drive them towards inclusive servant leadership?
Now, there's a scholar called, I think, Che Guevara. He said that the first duty of a true revolutionary is education. And even Mwai Kibaki, he needs efforts to actually make this country better. He insisted that the best investment a country can invest in is quality education to her children. Yeah. You see? Whenever I get so mad when I see any kind of regime joking with education. Yeah. Now, some years are revolutionary. What am I doing? Actually, what have I been doing? Civic education. Every time I go to the church, every time, and that has just been me. I think for me this leadership is truly a calling. Yeah. Because I go to the church, after the church, there's always those meetings. Yeah. You'll find me in those group meetings with the young people at Okoshago in the villages. Yeah. You know, trying to talk to them about leadership. Yeah. Trying to tell them, hey guys, do you know in 10, 20 years, we're expected to be running this country? Yeah. How are you preparing yourself to ensure that this country does not collapse right before our eyes? Yeah. Hey guys, do you know the current debt that we have in Kenya? Do you know what is happening? Yeah. Do you know the domestic debt that we are having? For me, I try to engage fellow young people, and even surprisingly, I also engage our mothers. Wow. You know, in those days, you know, maybe before this year or last year, if you would have told me that our mothers are the best listeners, yeah, I would have, you know, had some doubts. But you know, mothers are the best listeners that I've had so far. Yeah. Like the people in the village, the people in the streets, in the society, they're so ready to learn. Yeah. Sometimes I go sit with women in chamas. Yeah. But they've just invited me to, like, you know, we are just having this small contribution. Yeah. I'm like, okay, I have 500, I can just come and, you know, share a cup of tea with you. But then when I start speaking to them about how NGCDF, the National Government Constituency Development Fund, about GAF, that is actually under the Office of the Woman Representative, that is the National Affirmative Action Fund, how it works, they always never want me to leave them. They have questions. They're like, oh my God, do you mean there's such a fund? Yeah. And why are you not benefiting from it? What is happening? How much was given this year? You tell them the figures and they're like, oh my God. Yes. You mean that? Yeah. And are you supposed to pay back? Others they're like, well, you know, I benefited from this kind of fund, maybe GAF, and you are told to repay. Yeah. And then I tell them, no, this is your right. You pay taxes. And it is released annually, so you're not supposed to pay anyone. It is supposed to help you. They're like, no. you see, education,
civic engagement,
listening.
You mentioned really very powerful tools.
It is very powerful.
Yes, absolutely. I agree. Based on from what you've been doing and what you've accomplished, before we head on to maybe some of the political events that you've observed in 2025 and what you'd want changed in 2026 for young leaders, especially when women specifically at large, maybe would you say for you've had to, let's say, abandon some certain things, because leadership is about sacrificing.
True.
Big time. It's like, I've posted my life, I've posted what I love doing, I'm not going to go to that party, I'm going to sacrifice my own downtime to go and seek that skill, train, learn until I get better. And I think one of the biggest missing say skill, because I don't know if you'd say being a great communicator, an eloquent speaker like you are, is a transferable skill that you can learn, adapt it, and also impart it in other generations or in other people, other youthful people like you. Maybe would you say that's a missing link in terms of upskilling for young people that makes them not to be included because you don't have a voice? First of all, you don't even know how to communicate your visions, your aspiration, and maybe as time goes by, we need more of that in part of education, skilling, and training. Being a great and excellent communicator, pitching your point, presenting your agenda, and learning how to network and just speaking to these groups of leaders of people, it opens you up to other opportunities and people can listen to you. Maybe would you say that should be included as well as a core ingredient skill in sharpening the youth to be part of inclusive leadership right here in Kenya?
Yeah, it should actually, because you remember that learning is a lifetime.
Yeah.
Is a lifetime process. You never stop learning. And one of the days during one of the conferences, summits for young people, I was asking Honorable Babu, like, why do you keep on learning? You have this many diplomas, you have this many degrees, and, you keep on learning.
Keep on advancing.
You keep on advancing. Why? And he clearly said, learning is a lifetime process. You can never stop learning. The moment you stop learning, you start dying intellectually. You got to keep on learning and learning. Actually, a leader is a reader.
Absolutely. A leader is a reader.
Yeah, a leader is a reader.
Yeah.
You got to keep on reading those books,
Yes.
Even once you become Dr. So-and-so, Professor so-and-so, you got to keep on learning.
For sure.
Every day.
Absolutely.
And so the young people, I don't know, the Kenyan curriculum, it's one of the best that we have. And I remember, I think in social studies during those days, in primary school, it talks about this leadership structures that we have in Kenya. It talks about the human rights, the
actually just reading the Constitution and being aware of your freedoms, your rights. Yeah. So, articles that talk about, limitations, the place of young people,
the governance of this country.
Exactly.
So I feel like in terms of curriculum, we're not doing that badly off as a country. However, I know they start being now practical, where I think now the political parties come in.
Yeah.
Our political parties have some of the very best constitutions. Because you look at besides being a political leader, I'm also a scholar. I like to read and understand documents. So our political parties, what is one of the mandates of political parties in Kenya?
Yeah.
Forming the government. Political parties are vehicles through which governments are formed. Like the current government.
Yeah.
We call it the Kenya Kwanza government. KK. Which party? It's UDA. It's the ruling party, right? So for me, I think I would challenge the political parties to actually up their game in terms of educating young political leaders, because it is in these political parties you find these young political leaders. Yeah. Like you find if for example you want to be a member of county assembly, you're aligned with this political party, Yeah. Maybe you're aligned to the Y254 Patriotic Front, because we look forward to one day maybe getting a party ticket and buying through that political party.
Yeah.
So I want to challenge. It has been missing in political parties, because again, every time the political parties call young people, you find it is for them to be hecklers, to be
hired as grooms, hired as audience, actors in the background.
Come on, the political parties in Kenya, let us change that.
Yeah.
The current young person in Kenya is an educated person.
Yeah.
We cannot anymore fit into just being hecklers and goons in political meetings.
Yeah.
Can the political parties
even
have academies where the young people can be trained?
Yeah.
You know, like these communication skills, media skills,
you
know, policy making skills, policy formulation,
networking,
budget making processes, you know,
law making.
Because how will the young people question policies if they don't know even how?
Yeah, but not even read the Constitution. I mean, do you even know is it under the Bill of Rights? Do you even know that you are entitled to associate with a political party, a religion of your choice, and the state is not supposed to dictate it? Do you know where your freedom of speech starts and how, you know, maybe the government is not supposed to make laws that gag your speech? If we only had young people like you, like 10,000 of you, definitely this Kenya will be upside down in a good way. Like you guys will be able to turn this world upside down.
Now that would be the real Singapore. You know, I had in his national address speech the other day, the president talked of Kenya being a Singapore. He wants Kenya to be Singapore.
That's a good vision.
Now that would be the Singapore
that we want, right?
Exactly. You know, Singapore is not built by people who are not empowered. You know, Singapore would have young Kenyans that are truly empowered.
Absolutely. And I want us maybe to finish up. We have 10 minutes to go, now 9. If some of the things you've observed happening in 2025 politically that you'd want to change, not even maybe change, but you'd want maybe to improve, because you know nothing sometimes changes a lot in politics. It's usually the same song with different actors in the same roles they're playing. Maybe what would you say politically that happened? I know Baba's death shaped a lot in politics in terms of even now the opposition party, the place of the opposition and even the youth at large, because he actually had branded himself as a leader who was speaking for the youth, but it ended up the way it ended. At some point he was branded as a Gen Z betrayer. That happened anyways. But if you observe it from an angle of a youthful eye that has been keenly been following up on some of the political events that have been happening in the country, what would you like to change in 2026? And also maybe what are some of the things that you do and put in place apart from what you're doing? But there was something you had mentioned about offering pro bono services here. Please don't forget to talk about that. You can slide it in there. So politically, what are some of the things that happened in 2025 that you'd like maybe to be given a facelift, or you can do better in 2026, or include us maybe, or maybe you should do this in 2026 as we close the year?
Oh, that's such a big question. Not answerable in 10 minutes, but I'll try my best. Now, what I would really want to see, or what is my deepest prayer? The cost of living is still very high for Kenyans. I pity Kenyans a lot. As a matter of fact, this is a festive season, but if you go to the street right now, Kenyans cannot afford to celebrate as such as it used to be in those old days. So I would really want to see the cost of living really coming down and becoming more bearable for Kenyans.
Walisema unga inakosta 100 bob bwana.
Nenda super unga ni 100 bob kweli?
But maybe it depends on the supermarket.
You know, sometimes I feel like these leaders are now living in Singapore and Kenyans are living in Kenya on their own.
Because you can't be living in Runda and you want to buy a 2-kilogram packet of unga at 180.
But I really want the cost of living.
Yeah, for sure.
Even if how about the fuel?
Yeah.
You know, transport
actually
sector.
touches on everyone, for sure.
How about, you know, the farmers, they want fertilizers, you know, the fuel, you know, once the fuel is a bit more affordable, they're able to transport their products.
The products from the shambles to the marketplaces.
And even as Kenyans, you're able to buy them at a fair price, at a fair price.
Yeah.
So I really want the cost of living to really become, to go down, and to be affordable for Kenyans. The education.
Yeah.
We're still struggling in terms of our education. The quality, the affordability. Right now, I just had that, is it today or yesterday?
Yeah.
The head of the universities, the lecturers, they were still saying that lecturers have not been paid their arrears. Surely, this year we've had lecturers go on strike for more than 6 weeks.
Yeah, it was actually more than 40 days.
40 days.
Yeah.
Please, we don't want that next year.
Happen again in
We cannot afford to joke around with the education of young people.
Yeah.
Come on, let's
But share is working, you'd agree?
Sorry?
Share is working, right?
I'm not agreeing because Kenyans are not agreeing. But with education, I want education to be smooth next year. From primary school level to the university level to the tertiary level.
And I have 70,000 teachers. He's adding 20,000 plus next year.
You know, promises should be accompanied by actions.
Yeah, he had 70,000 plus.
Saying is one thing, but implementing is another. You see? So I want education to work in this country next year, please. That one, healthcare. Come on. Even though you say that healthcare is working, healthcare systems are working in this country. Just the other day, Mheshimiwa, former governor, Mike Mbuvi Sonko, he was at Pumwani Hospital, where he helped over 100 mothers who are unable to go back home.
Yeah, was it Mama Lucy or Pumwani?
Pumwani or Mama Lucy, one of the hospitals in Nairobi. These women could not afford to pay for their maternity, not just any other, kind of services. Maternity, like the basic of human.
Yeah, sure.
The basic of human services.
So, what would you recommend then as we exit?
I want the government to work for Kenyans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe give you a parting shot as we exit. What should I expect from you in 2026? Also, your prediction of the political landscape for the youth in 2026, and how, if you're running any organizations that young people can be a part of, and what they should look forward to in 2026 politically. This is your camera.
Thank you. In 2026, I want young people and Kenyans to come out in large numbers to occupy their voter registration, because if all that I've mentioned will not work, if the government will still not work for Kenyans, we still have the power of the ballot. We can change the leadership in this country, because the power belongs to the people at the end of the day. And again, I know it is Christmas time. Kenyans, maybe I will be back here maybe very soon, maybe until next year. I want to wish Kenyans a Merry Christmas and a happy festive season. I know in Mutheu chapter 1 verse 23, it says that unto us a baby is born, unto us a son is conceived, and his name shall be Emmanuel, which means God with us. And so I also want to speak a message of hope to Kenyans, that Christ has been born in us, and as he is born in us, is Emmanuel, is God with us. He's definitely going to be God with us, even amidst bad governance and many other bad things in the country. And I don't know, how many minutes do I have again?
No, your time is up.
My time is up. So I love you Kenyans, and I love you Machakos people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We have been speaking to, Rejoice Mutheu. She's an aspiring woman representative of Machakos County. I trust when it comes to 2026 and 2027, you will hack it. And Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you too, and good luck in everything that you're doing.
Merry Christmas.
Absolutely. Thank you so much as well for watching. Let's take a very short break, and then we'll come back with the next conversation. So stick around with us on the hashtag, which is Y in the morning. See you on the other side in a bit.